thank you for being here. We're going to start right on time, and just for you to know, we're going to record this session. So if anyone of you want to see it later on, you will be able to see it. The title of this webinar is the future of the B2B telco seller. But it really should have been the near future of the B2B telco seller, because what we're going to show you, or what we're going to tell you a little bit about, is what is going to go on and what's going to happen in the very near future. This is not happening yet, but it's going to happen in this very near future. And it's how an agent is going to teammate or act as one team with the account executives and support them during all the revenue cycle. Before going into more detail, I'm going to present myself. My name is Nicolas Howard. I'm president for the EMEA region of Nespon Solutions. I've been over 20 years, have over 20 years experience in the telecommunication and digital transformation industry, and mostly in the B2B telco segment. And that's why I'm giving you these insights of what I would have done when I was inside of a telco, and what are my colleagues that are still inside of different telcos are trying to understand and trying to see and to do at this point. I have a great experience in CRMs. I implemented different CRMs in these 20 years, and I've also been in the operation and the sales teams, and also in the customer care and the customer care teams of telcos. A little bit about Nespon, but very high details, because we don't want to go into this right now. But we are an American company with a headquarters in Dallas, Texas. We were founded in 2008, and we have grown globally to all of these different cities and countries. We are in these countries actually, and we're working with Salesforce and with new technologies, new AI technologies, in each one of these companies. We have global awards from TM Forum, so we're very into telecommunication, even though we also act in other type of industries like financial services or manufacturing or even technology. Salesforce Nespon is one of the pioneers of using AI, not only to make this a service that it can be used by our customers, but also how we're using it inside our own company to be able to give a better information, develop much quicker, develop much safer, and with a higher quality. So this is a little bit what we wanted to transmit. And let's start by the problem, because we always have to start by a problem. We can't be putting, the product before the problem. The real problem that the B2B has when we're talking about selling is that 60% or plus of the selling time is lost. Account executives spend a lot of time doing administrative tasks. I remember this was something that I could see and live 10 or 12 years ago, and today is the same problem. There's a lot of information that is needed because the solutions are quite complex and need a lot of information, and the account executive loses a lot of time bringing all this information and getting it up to date. The second big problem is that 40% of the pipeline doesn't reflect reality. It's very hard to maintain this pipeline up to date. Each one of the quarters, everybody is running to update their information. They don't have all the information of the client. They don't have all the information about the contact of the client. And when one of these account executives or somebody that is inside of this process leaves the company, and we start to see that we don't have all the information that we need, and that information is of the company and it's not of the person. So this is something that's also an enormous problem. The third problem that I'm talking about is when we miss renewals in silence. Every time that there is a renewal, even though if we want to renew the contract at the same price and for another year or another 2 years or whatever, there's always a new opportunity to be able to explore and see if you can find something new that the client needs, that the client is trying to achieve with their strategic politics and things, and we are losing that opportunity because generally these renewals don't come up automatically. And finally, the fourth problem is the operational friction, the errors between what was defined as a product, what was delivered as a product, the pre-sales team, the sales team, the, the back office, and the provisioning team always bring frictions, and that those frictions mean that we spend more time or that we deliver something that was not asked for us at the beginning, etc., etc., etc. So these are the main problems. Then the second biggest problem is that all this that maybe we're not so conscious because we are very used to working this way brings a lot of money lost and a lot of savings. Okay, so now going into which are the key challenges, we find that there are 20 critical barriers to commercial performance. In what's market and customer intelligence, we have a limited market intelligence. It's difficult or not difficult. It's very laborious to know what is going on with the client, who is who, if everything that we have is updated, how much is their revenue, how many employees do they have, how many sites are they managing, etc., etc. So we generally don't do all that intelligence for at least great part of the clients of telco B2B. Let's think of not only of the 300 biggest clients that information generally is there, but for the 20,000 mid-market clients where all that information is very difficult to get. Then we have a poor dynamic segmentation. No, the segmentations are photos, and the life is like a video. So that the things go changing all the time. No, there's a company that maybe was small 1 year ago, and now it's big, or the other way around. So that dynamic segmentation that generally is done once a year or once 2 years makes us lose a lot of time and make us lose a lot of focus on where we have to really be putting all the efforts. And the other thing is identifying the real client needs. No, how much do we go and investigate what are their problems and try to understand which are their strategic plans to be able to offer them a solution that matches those. And how many times our account executives just go and offer the product without thinking about all of this. Then no industry specialization. This is something very, very common. No, we generally not only segment the clients by their size or by not their size, it's how much do they buy from us. That's another big problem. So maybe we have very big clients, but buy little from this telco, and so we leave them in a very small niche of market. So we have to have this industry specialization to know about banking, to know about insurance companies, about manufacturing companies, about medicine companies. So it's very important that this intelligence and in this industry specialization it doesn't depend of one person that knows it or doesn't know. It has to be being able to share. And then the complexity of the account management, that's also a big barrier, because it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time of updating information. When we go to the portfolio and commercial ops, um, we have the complexity of indirect channels. A lot of the telcos with which I work with has this problem. No, the complexity of working with indirect channels, the portfolio and catalog overloads. This means that we generally have an enormous catalog, that hasn't been restructured and hasn't been migrated during the years. And once that you already have it, it's very difficult to go, because there's a lot of revenue that's in play. Then slow offer launches. Some companies that I've been working with, they maybe to launch a new product or a new bundle or a new offer, or whatever, it takes 6 months. This is something that in today's world is not acceptable. Uh, Complex and slow quoting and reliable sales forecast. This is a common problem along not only telco, but along every company where I've been, IT companies, technological companies. The unreliable sales forecast is something that doesn't make the management be able to take the right decisions at the right time, and they're blind most of the time. Then people, process, and coordination. No sales teams, productivity gaps, insufficient training and skills. Um, Many times we don't have time to do all the training skills. And when we're talking about training, it's not the learning, it's the training, and really getting to be able to answer to all the requirements that a client gives us in the time that it's needed. No, siloed sales or pre-sales ops, weak install based management. This is horrible, because when in most of the telcos, many of the clients are trying to upsell or renew, and if they don't have this install based, this is very bad for the business. Late renewals or churn risk. We let the contracts get to the final day, and we don't do anything with enough time, and maybe we're losing that contract, or maybe we're not taking advantage of that renewal. Fragmented customer experience, because these customers want to have one experience. They have their own problems. They're not like us, that we have different departments. That one is from sales, the other one is from marketing, the other one is from the customer care, the other one is from provisioning. They don't want to have that experience. They want to have only one experience. Finally, technology and data, low data quality. This is a classic problem that we have. Profitability measurements of our services and our products. The legacy systems dependency. We have huge legacies in telcos that can't be undeployed, because they are right inside of our operation and our processes, and limited AI and automation. So after this, um, what is the future telco, and how did we imagine this future telco? First, we imagine it for this process, just from lead to bill, or lead to quote, quote to order, order to bill, and bill to care. And here we thought about 5 agent families, or agentic assistant families. The one that has to do with productivity, commercial productivity, high rotation products, because most of these projects are repaid really when you have a high volume of selling products or selling services. Okay, then a family of agents that work for the critical moments, a set of agents that work for the portfolio and governance. This is how management manages all their sales force. And the industry verticals, that this is something that I just told you a little about. The industry verticals is Like if you would have a skill that knows about manufacturing, another skill that knows about technological, and another skill that knows about um, I don't know, hospitality. So those skills or those vertical skills that you may not have the time for your account executive to learn, help them go forward with a sales process. A little bit of just try to imagine what it was before and what can it be with an agent assistant. Before, we would search for data across multiple systems. The people would be navigating in different systems and looking for all this information, prepare meetings manually, did the nurturing of the client. Knowing about the client was a manual task. The qualification of leads based on subjective judgment. Each one said, this is important, this is not important, whatever, but their opinions, they were not rational, qualified leads with reasoning of this. Then we have configured quotes with errors, manually track contracts, signature status. We were always running after somebody saying, we don't have this signed, we need it signed to be starting the provisioning, etc. Reviewed contract renewal in spreadsheets or justified forecasts with incomplete data. And what are we imagining for the future? Agents analyzing accounts and prioritizing daily actions, helping us with that, recommend the best moments and channels to be able to engage with the customers, detect cross-sellings. Okay, this is so important because these opportunities, if we have somebody that is seeing what the client already has and what other clients that had those same services now are buying, this can help the account executive to offer those services automatically. Generate proposals and validate the data in one flow. That's so important. I remember one use case where this was critical because the data that had to be validated for a provisioning to start took weeks. And after doing an automatization like this, it just took minutes. Alert on renewals and recommendations attached, analyzing portfolio and suggesting reassignments. This is super important because this is an inside job that the telcos have to do. And build intelligence forecasts powered by AI signals. So here, what's the process that we go through when we want to use this and use these agents? No, the first part is the input. What do we know about the customer? What we know about the opportunity? What we know about the account, etc., etc., etc. Then, what's all the information that we need? What's all the data that we need? And we maybe need all the data that's inside the CRM, but we also may need it from the billing system or from the contract system or from how we're giving our services with customer care. What's the catalog and what are the assets? This is very important. The assets is so important because if we don't have the assets, it's very difficult to be able to offer this upselling or the renewals. So this thing of the data is so critical. The analysis, the agentic assists and reads and gives you a lot of insight on this analysis. Once you already have the first two steps, this analysis is where it starts really adding enormous amount of value. Then the agent starts with the recommendations, the alerts, and it also validates enormous data, and this keeps the data in a very healthy state. Finally, in point 5, we have the human, that's the one that finally approves or adjusts whatever is being built to be able to deliver to the customer. And finally, the output. The output may be a quote, sending something to an order, an email, a task, or even updating Salesforce automatically without the account executive having to go into Salesforce and doing all the updating of this. Of course, what is the CRM platform involved? Well, it involves every one of the different models. Now let me go back to the families. You remember that I told you that we were doing 5 families. So imagine this as having the options of seeing everything and in the whole process and seeing all the agents that you may have, maybe all or they can be more. These are 36 specialized agents that we constructed or we are building or we are thinking that is a must-have. So, for example, for commercial productivity, you have to have a predictive lead scoring, next best action, opportunity scoring. This is also super important. The forecast and pipeline supervision, the code GPT, proposal generation, intelligence cross-selling and upselling, discount optimization, search prediction, and competitive intelligence. I won't go into each one of them because I want to show you some examples, and some of these things are already spoken. So I'm just going to go through each one of the agents. In the high rotation products, this is what I was telling you. There are certain products that maybe once in a time, once in the year that you're going to be selling them, or a service or a project. But the thing that most time takes out of the account executives is those products that have a high rotation or have a high volume of being sold, and they need to go through a long process. So if those can also be oriented or assisted with an AI agent, it's going to save a lot of time, and they're going to be much quicker, and that's going to assure that we're going to sell more. There we have convergent connectivity, fiber plus mobile, cover mobility, business fiber with fixed IP, cloud PBX, Office 365, cloud productivity suites, endpoint protections, cloud backups, or managed IT. These are the examples. Some, depending on your services, these may be different, okay? But these are some of the examples that we wanted to give you. Then the critical moments. The critical moments is when I have to validate the customer data, when I have to go and visit a customer and I want to see what's going on with him. And the documents and the delivery confirmation, that's so important. The contract signing, the validations, the assisted provisioning and activation, the end-to-end data quality. If we don't have data quality, there's no AI that can help us. And the order, the code to order and billing validation. When we are talking about portfolio and governments, we are talking about managers and directors who are going to be using this. And we have the contract expiry, renewal and upgrade, customers technology and modernization, portfolio analysis, that's what we were talking about earlier, intelligent portfolio assignment, customer resegmentation, competitive intelligence, sales coaching. This is very important, and I've seen very good AI assistants doing this, and it really is magnificent. And objection handling, this is also critical because each account executive has his own way of defending objections, and this helps you each time that you're selling a service. It helps you have these objection handlers at hand to help you go with the client. And finally, the industry verticals that I was telling you, manufacturing, healthcare, banking, energy and utilities, retails, public sector, and foundations. Now, what's a big problem that there is when we are talking with the CIOs or the people that are interested in this? They come and say, okay, very nice, but how much is this going to cost me? How can I know where to put my money or my investment? Can I do everything If I do everything, how do I know that I'm going to really have a good impact? So this was what I'm going to show you. It's just a mock-up. It's not that something that's already built, but it's a mock-up. But this is what I wanted to show you. This is like if you had a menu in the restaurant, and you say, okay, I want to choose this one, I want to choose this one, and I want to choose, I don't know, whatever, the objections. Okay. So what is this telling me? Is telling me what the agent is going to be able to do, what's the effort of configuration, what's the effort of training, what's the usage that we expect, and what is it going to be impacting. And once we already have it, here we have the final selection of the three um, agents that we were choosing to be able to do. And here we're seeing the complete configuration effort, training effort, using, and business impact. If we look at this, when an SI, any SI, not only Nespon, any SI is looking at this, can immediately tell you how much will this cost, how much this will cost to be able to use, and in what time, and where is this going to impact in your business. Okay, so this is one example that I wanted to show you. The next one is the next best action. So for example, let's choose one client, no, and if we choose one client, we will be seeing this client, what he has, and that why we have to act today. We haven't contacted, the contract expires in 28 days. Vodafone visited him 9 days ago. The key sponsor is leaving in January. There are 3 new stores opening in the Q1 of 2027. Agent force or the agent recommends the actions that you take, or you could offer, and they give you the suggested offer. And here, uh, imagine that you're writing something in natural language, okay, and you say, okay, what's the renewal history? And the agent will give him the renewal history that this client has, or what is the SLA do they currently have? And this will give you the answer. This will be interacting with your account executive in all the time. The next one is the high rotation product that I wanted to show you. For example, here we are talking to I'm the account executive. I'm talking with my assistant, and he's telling me that we have to renew. We have to work with this offer. So we go selecting, and we go asking the assistant for more details. He goes guiding us to see that we have all the information, and finally we get up to one point where we already have um, the new quote. Having the new quote, we go over it, we think that it's okay, so we can generate the proposal. We generate the proposal, and we can register the opportunity in Salesforce. And once we've registered the opportunity and it's sent the proposal, the account executive doesn't even have to go into Salesforce. This is already done. It has created an opportunity. It has created a quote, and we have notified Carlos Romero via Salesforce Engage. We proposed the meeting created for the 5th of July, and we forecast. We have updated the forecast with opportunity. Okay. The other last mock-up that I wanted to show you is the customer data validation. This is also something that happened all the time. Each time that as a account executive has to go to visit a client, he wants to know what's going on with the client. So imagine that this assistant, what he does, he reads all the different systems that he has to read, and he comes up with all this information. And this information gives the account executive an account overview. What's the annual contract? When does the contract expire? What's the NPS score at this present time? How many tickets does he have open? who are the key stakeholders, what are the active services, how much does he consume per month, and he tells them what's going on with different tickets. And from there on, it also tells which are the risks that he sees, which is expansion opportunities, and from there on, the account executive can start to interact with the agent to help him. So these are just three examples, and the selector that I was telling you. But after this, what do the companies ask for? Okay, but how can I control this? How do I see what's going on, and how can I control that the expense of using these agents doesn't flow, it doesn't go up to the sky? So what you have here is an agent operation center. This is something that nearly all the agentic platforms give you and help you have. But it tells you how many agents are deployed, how many active users of how many, what's the percentage of utilization, and what's your current cost during this month. And this gives you how are you using it today, and a projection of how are you going to be using it in the next hours. And here you can see the different agents that you have deployed. How much are they consuming? What are they using their cost, and how many users are they going? If something is going off of our guardrails, we can stop them, or we can see what's going on immediately. So these are just some examples of what I wanted to give you. What we recommend for each one of the companies that are following this or thinking about this is to start with 3 cases. You can choose any ones of the menu that I was offering you before, but you can just you can see a case of next best actions, next best commercial action. Sorry, and the code GPT for high rotation products, or the contract renewal and upgrade. This is just an example, but you could choose any one. Here we also have some videos where we already did these agents using some technologies, and they were very successful when we implemented them. Okay, and what is the benefit for the client, for the customer that's doing this, or for the companies doing this? And these are very accurate numbers. You expect that the commercial productivity per account executive may go up 30% because they are not doing all those manual tasks that are required. The time spent in administrative tasks lowers up to 60%. The win rate in opportunities that are assisted by AI may come up by 25%. And this is not just a number. It's that when the delay of a decision by a customer is too long, the probability gets lower, and lower. For these products that are high rotation, if the decision is immediate, the hit rate will be much higher for those products. 40% of undetected churn and risk anticipated and addressed. I lived this in first row in one of the companies. We found so much money here because it was something that we didn't think that that much money was escaping with this problem, and we found it, and it was great because it was a great possibility of increasing the revenues of the company. The ARPU via intelligent renewal and upsells, it goes up at 20%, and the speed to generate CPQ proposals multiplies by 3. Well, Nespon Solutions, here, what we generally propose to you is to work in a discovery workshop, just 2 hours, to map the priority pain points, find the problem. Before thinking of any technology, you have to have your problems very clear, and you have to admit these problems, because if not, you will be chasing different things that won't give you the effect that you need. Select 1 to 3 agents to start with. Don't try to go and do everything at the same time. And personalize the demo. Try to make it for when a final user, an account executive that's going to be using it, has to feel it that this is really knowing about his client, about himself, about everything. You have to personalize that demo, and then the proposal and the roadmap. No, we do the implementation, we estimate the investment, and the 90-day success model. Our final vision is that what I want to read it, is the Gentic assistant doesn't just log opportunity. It guides, recommends, validates, executes, and protects revenue end to end. This is the most important thing. So leave your questions using the QA chat option. We will answer them. We will get back to you, and we will keep it very close. Indeed, to be able to answer to these questions. I want to thank you very much for this time, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Thank you very much.